Okay. We'll roll the 484 sided die. Get things cooking. 400.
Ugh.
400 is very far down. I hope it's not in the moral quandary section. Nope, it's in meta. Okay. If you could, meta assumes your character knows about every universe that we know about and all of the media and whatnot from said universes. So, if you could switch your life with any fictional character, who would it be? You don't even have to say why for this question. You just gotta say who you switch it with, and we're just left to fill in the blanks. All right. So while you ruminate on that, would anybody, for a recap spiration, like to give me a summation of last week's session? There was a lot that went on. I think a lot of things that changed the game. A lot of people coming and going. If you are willing to do that recap, go ahead and throw a d20 into chat. Otherwise, I'll do my best to sum up what happened last time.
I'm still trying to load in.
Oh,
I'll roll
really?
for you,
Okay.
Darius.
But,
Oh man, what an offer!
The recap would go wolf, wolf, bark, 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 wolf, 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 bark.
Oh, nice, very clever, very clever. All right, so you rolled a 14. So does anybody else want to try? Otherwise, that's our recap. Going once, going twice. All right. Sold to Darius, who is feeble-minded and can only remember his friends and his enemies. All right. Jumping over to the.
No, I can give the actual recap.
Oh, okay, okay.
That was just my smart ass version.
Oh, that was just my raised Catholic response. I was just filling you with guilt by publicly accepting your inadequate work, but that's okay. Go ahead. What happened last time?
Oh man. So I guess this one can't exactly be in character, and I'll get to that in a second. So we kind of started off the session inside this library. This was post us running from Old Man Wizard, who was bombarding us with spells, and trying to catch our breaths. That's kind of then when the situation hit us. Tiernan was very dead. And we were pretty much running on fumes. So we think, well, they cannot think. It's the fucking library. We've been hearing it for the past couple of sessions now. This was the area that Xanther should be in. So we started kind of exploring around the place, trying to see if we could find this guy. Apparently, there is a downstairs to this library that goes into an amber chamber, similar to one that we had seen previously. And that's where we saw the lower half of Xanther, from the neck down. It was just standing in front of one of those amber crystals. Not really doing much of anything. So we at least found that, but we haven't found the head. Still looking around the library, we notice that there's a couple of secret passages. One off to the right seems to lead to a, laboratory, where in the center there is a much larger, more ornate amber crystal. That seems important, but we'll come back to that probably later, maybe this session, who knows. Then we go to the left-hand side and find that secret passage, which leads to a bedroom. And in said bedroom is a floating skull. Very much old man. Where am I? I must have. Well, he has no idea where he is. Seems to also very quickly forget anything that is told to him. Darius tried say Xanther, but then when the skull got too close, he got mind blasted and is now feeble-minded. And for those who don't know what the spell does, it reduces your intelligence and charisma to 1. So he is no more than just a beast at this point. Anna and Daniel came in afterwards and noticed the skull and tried to reason with it. That kicked off combat of sorts, where they tried to feed the head the angel's blood that we had gotten from the abbot to restore him his mind, but roles weren't exactly in her favor for a while. Um, and Xanther was getting increasingly frustrated, but then forgetting, and then frustrated, and then forgetting, and yeah. But eventually, they were able to convince him to take it. There was a little bit of a mishap, but the angel blood was applied to Xanther, and his mind was restored. He was then immediately suspicious of the party, but things were able to be smoothed over when his body returned to him. He was able to place it back on. Thought had gone down in the conflict, unfortunately, so he resummoned Thought. Then we started to kind of fill him in on all the stuff that has been going on since his episode of Alzheimer's, dementia, one of those mind things. I can't remember which one. He seemed intrigued that Irene is still alive. Um, he does also seem like he wants revenge against Strahd, maybe. Not sure on that part. But essentially, he would be willing to talk with us later. And that's pretty much when we tried to take a long rest in this library. Of course, because this whole place is cursed, things didn't exactly go well during the night. Probably learn about that later. But during that time, Casimir was able to locate. Well, he had located the book earlier that he needed for whatever ritual he wanted to do, and then learned the spell, performed it. Zavid died, and he was able to resurrect his sister. Actually, I skipped a little before. Before that, Taltos had an idea of how he could bring back Tiernan. Unfortunately, it would have to be through a life sacrifice. So he sacrificed his life in order to bring back Tiernan to the land of the living. So Taltos and Savid have both died, and in their place we have Tiernan back, but also Casimir's sister, I'm blanking on her name, Patrina. And that's kind of where we left off. Just having this initial conversation with Patrina, trying to see what her deal is.
All right. Well done. Go ahead and take your recap spiration. Okay. Would anybody like to answer the fanspiration question? Not the fanspiration question. The factspiration question. Yeah. There's so many F's. The factspiration question of if you could switch your life with any fictional character, who would it be? If you want to answer that for a bardic inspiration that lasts the session or until you use it, go ahead and roll a d20 into chat. Nobody? Going once? Going twice? Oh, we got 16 from Shane, 18 from Darius. Going once? Going twice? All right, Darius, double feature. What do you got for us?
Actually, I was expecting to get that one. God, I feel like this current version of him is more akin to an animal. So if I'm answering in that aspect, Airbud.
Air Bud. Okay.
Or Bud.
All right.
I think it's just Bud. Because he's very good at sports, athletic, and everyone loves him. And he would love for that to kind of be the case again.
Damn. All right. I feel like this loss of intelligence to charisma has unlocked a certain amount of innocence that might have still been left there.
Maybe.
Whew. Okay. Sounds good. Go ahead and I'll apply that effect for you. There we go. And I guess we'll just jump right back into it because we are in the library right now. Everyone has completed a long rest, though they're still rocking a ton of exhaustion. This lady showed up. Do you want to stay on this scene for a more casual roleplay vibe? Or do you guys want to like be on a top-down tactical battle mat so that you can, be completely aware of your surroundings?
think this should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
this,
All right.
I don't know. This one kind of makes me nervous with Anastasia just sort of hanging out.
Oh yeah, I was testing stuff. So in the migration, I lost all of my voice recordings again. This is the third migration where that
Oof.
has happened.
Actually, hasn't it happened every migration?
Every migration since the mod came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start just recording character voices and demeanors locally, and then if we run into a character I can't remember what they act like or what they sound like, I'll just grab that off the thing. But it doesn't really help us right now. Anyways, that's why she was there. Okay. Then let me grab some music here.
Oh, and the most important thing, we gotta level up because of all this torturous shit we've gone through being in this place for no fucking reason.
Yeah. No.
There's a reason.
I know there's a reason.
I'm curious what the reason.
It's a
I'm
little bit of a
curious.
small reason, but it's there.
I'm curious what the reason is actually, but I guess I will find out by watching and listening. All right. So we ended with Patrina giving Anna a meaningful look, and in that look, Anna, you felt a kindred spirit, in a way that, like someone was looking at you and not seeing what they wanted, not seeing what could be, and not seeing what they assumed was there, but just seeing you.
Who are you?
My name is Patrina Velikovna. I am a Dusk Elf, and long ago I was the object of Strahd von Zarovich's affections. He saw in me something unique, something different. And I saw in him the most incredible and tortured soul I had ever met. Our
Wait,
love was intense, and he offered me the kiss of immortality, not violently given, but sensuously, in a manner that would make me nearly as powerful as him. This method involves feeding 3 separate times, and only after the 3rd feeding is the transformation complete, and the blood bond stronger than a mere spawn or thrall to its master. Alas, as I waited for the sun to set on the 3rd night, as I waited for my love to come to me and change my life forever, I was betrayed by my own brother, by my own people. They dragged me from my home, dragged me through the streets. They tore at my clothes to show the bite marks, much clearer, but also to humiliate me. They had prepared a pyre. I knew what they intended. And as I called for my magic, my brother silenced me. They bound my fingers that I wouldn't perform the gestures of magic. They stuffed bloody rags in my mouth that I could not speak the words, even if the silence spell were not in place. And they covered my eyes I only saw again as the flames burnt the fabric away before consuming my eyes. And I watched, and she slowly turns to look at Casimir, hunched in the shadows in the corner, as he looked away. He would not even look me in the eyes as he killed me. I went into death confident that my love would save me. I learned a hard lesson that night. There are no men worth trusting.
He brought you back out of love. Certainly that means something.
Out of love or out of guilt, you know what happened next. Strahd's ire at losing me drove him mad. He ordered Rahadin, one of our own people, to exterminate all of the women, so that we could live long enough to see our own species die out. He maimed my brother and tortured him. I watched as a spirit, and my heart was filled with malice, but also joy. I thought God did these things for me because he felt outraged at losing me. But in the decades and centuries that followed, as I languished as a banshee, he only did those things because he was insulted that anyone would try to stop him from doing what he wants and taking what he wants. Many times I visited him and begged him for life, for a body that I might be with him. And he banished me from his sight. He said that I would only remind him of what happened.
What do you want now?
I want to stop him from doing whatever he wants and taking whatever he wants. I want to take everything from him.
Okay, you guys have seen this Anna face before where she's like, good enough for me, and then she looks at you.
Wolf.
Well, I, for one, am glad to have someone of such strength and beauty amongst us once more. Strahd may not recognize your worth, but we certainly can.
In that case, I must take measures to be of more use to you. She strides over to her cowering brother, and she kicks him hard in the side. He falls down, and then she leans in and she takes his component pouch, his anthem, and his spellbook. This is a start. I will need time to reacclimate myself to having a living body and preparing my spells for what comes next.
Daniel, Tiernan, what do you think?
I think we're not in the position to make more enemies.
I mean, hey, if she's against the big guy, it's better for us, yo.
Very well. Do what you need to do. We have matters to attend to here.
Okay. She nods to you and does a bit of a respectful curtsy. And then she goes to begin reading Casimir's spellbook. Daniel, upon rising from sleep, question mark, you feel all effects of exhaustion fade away. You're not sure why you were letting anything so mundane hold you back.
All I needed was a good night's sleep.
OOC, you now have 2 characters that you cannot allow them to drop below 0 health. So if you have any way of mitigating that, you may want to keep that in mind.
It's a real life, Daniel. It's a real life.
It's definitely a double-edged sword because exhaustion in this game is pretty miserable, but going to 0 do happen. So it's like, yeah.
Does Xantha come out?
Ah, yes. Eventually, Xanther comes out of his little cubbyhole. He has thought riding on his head, and he says, what does he say? Let's see. Oh, wonderful. He says, well, who is this? If I didn't know any better, I would say that you're the spitting image of Petrina Velikovna. She stands and she does a polite curtsy to him as well with imaginary skirts because she's just wearing somebody's cold weather clothing. And she says, the very same. My brother was able to use one of your spells to bring me back. Xanther looks over and then looks over at her and says, well, it's good to see there weren't too many complications. Yes, well, I've rested my mind and done some research. There's not much I can do for this one's condition. It is something that time would have to heal, though it's sometimes an affliction that you never come back from. But with divine magic, it is quite doable. There's a spring in Kresik that might be able to help him, and there are the paladins of Argon Vostholt. I know that Strahd keeps in his employ a cleric and a druid of some notable talent. But well, I would not say it is beyond me, but it is certainly not something I will do.
Xanther, do you know why we're here?
I believe, like many before you, you are either here because you made some bad choices and went to the source of those choices to either finish the job or fight for your freedom. But I think it is more now. This second one. You are tired of being played with. You are not toy soldiers marching about on a mock battlefield. You are people, and you want agency. You want freedom. You want your lives back. You want revenge. All of these things circling around one epicenter. For he is ancient, and he is the land you seek, the downfall and destruction, Strahd von Zarovich.
You find that goal obtainable?
Many have tried, myself included, but he kind of motions around with a bony hand. There we are. It is a complex situation, a very powerful curse. And it has created a battery, a power source, a wellspring, whatever you want to call it, that nourishes the entity responsible for the curse and our situation. Most of the dark powers here have goals. They have ambition. As Xanther says this, Darius, Daniel, Shane, and Anna, you guys feel a little bit of dopamine hit the back of your head because it's always nice to be appreciated. It's always nice to be noticed and have your positive traits kind of pointed out. But here they are, trapped like prisoners for the crimes of existence. They cannot help what they are, and what they are is completely natural. There cannot exist in the multiverse good without evil, light without darkness. There is a balance to all things. I dare say that some worlds have probably met a terrible end in the absence of their presence. For without adversity, without a common enemy, without darkness to protect against, why have civilization? That's all. Evil motivates. But vampire is a different sort. He is a parasite, lazy, uninventive. He feeds on sorrow, on suffering, souls, and blood. He has created his own little pig farm here. And old MacDonald is Strahd von Zarvik. An endless, looping cycle of suffering for vampire to lazily graze upon. And when food starts to get scarce, more are brought in. Fresh blood. Strahd thinks he's doing it for a number of reasons. To entertain himself, to challenge himself, to find heroes strong enough to destroy him, to replace him, to champion his cause, to end his loneliness. But in truth, he brings them here as offerings, sacrifices, that vampire might taste something new, that they might savor the loss of hope over and over again. And as he says that, you guys have these flashbacks to the pivotal moments in the campaign where you yourselves lost hope, or the people that you loved and cared about lost hope. And you know instinctively that these are the moments that vampire feeds upon. So defeating Strahd, it does nothing. Everything just starts over again. I have found ways to remember. I haven't been aware of every cycle, but many, if not most, of the most recent ones. The themes are often the same. Outsiders are the only ones who can enact any sort of change. The rest of us, we are gears in the clock that keeps ticking. Try as we might, whatever change we elicit is already built into the design. But few outsiders ever make it far enough to understand what is happening. Few have the courage to stand against the darkness, and fewer still the courage to embrace the darkness and use it. For all here are prisoners, and all seek to escape. In that way, we have but one single enemy. Vampire. How do we defeat him? I have a ritual and a device which will sever the conduit of magic and blood that binds vampire to Strahd and therefore to the land itself. It is a challenge. None have survived. But if you and your friends were willing to try, I would show you this ritual. With it, we can bind vampire back within a prison, severing his connection to Von Zarovich. They would still be bound as patron and power, but there would be a window of 7 mortal days wherein they would be separated. If during that time you could deal the killing blow to Von Zarovich, he would not have Vampire's power to call upon. And he would be destroyed. Without a champion linking him to the land, Vampire would be powerless. Trapped. As he was before. And then he gestures with a bony hand that he cedes the podium to the class.
We are willing to try to stop him, but there's tools here we must find first. I know they're downstairs. They will help us.
I am the keeper of this place. All who dwell here fear me. I shall escort you, if you would like, that the many traps and defenses do not try to harm you.
Anybody got anything up here before we push for that?
I mean, some of you have, like, a little bit of exhaustion.
I mean, overall, okay.
Unless somebody wanted to divert to the downstairs they were being called to before and thinks they can convince everyone to go. I think I'm good with an escort out.
I'll look to Anna and say, if there's power here that's untapped, we should take it.
Shane, do you remember what I asked you before we entered here?
No.
I asked you what you wanted from the temple. And your answer was to find something to beat Strahd with.
I said what?
You said you wanted to find something to beat Strahd with.
Yes.
Did you find that?
I believe I now have a clearer vision of what I need, and it's a way out.
Do you have control of it?
My connection flickered. What was that? Do I need what?
Do you have control of it?
I'm in concert with it, which is
You feel a tremendous amount of pain in your mind, your heart, and your balls, Shane. And you just hear it. How rude.
She is with me.
You hear you hear they.
Oh, I'll say they. They are with me.
These 80s people, am I right?
I know, right? Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm a little.
Don't let it take control of you.
He'll just kind of nod.
I'm happy you found something.
What about you? Do you need something? I'm kind of motioning for downstairs.
Soon. Just checking in on everybody. That's all.
I would also recommend that if we are confronting Strahd, do we not want to peel a few more layers of defense off of him?
Oh, one step at a time. We need to deal with what's here first. Then we'll worry about Strahd.
Patrina, who's listening intently to all this from the chair, says, I have a very intimate knowledge of Strahd and Castle Ravenloft and all who dwell within it. That knowledge is yours, since you are my allies.
Did you lead us to the crypts?
Of course. What is it that you seek?
We were just told something was there. I don't know exactly what. Just something that we can use against him.
Irenia is being very quiet, but at this point she would say, a sword. It is probably broken. It's in the crypt of the Mad Dog. And Patrina smiles and says, yes, I know of that crypt. The castle is a living thing, and its heart beats day and night. As long as the heart beats, the castle will have a will of its own, a mind to fight. But Strahd draws on the heart for strength, while the castle has a beating heart. He cannot be harmed. Further, his connections to the land give him powers much like a living god. I don't see how we can defeat him, even without the powers of his patron, while such a bond still exists.
We seek to break that bond as well.
Exanther says, well, you will only have 7 days to do everything you need to do to defeat him. Unless you want to risk facing him first and then returning here to slay Vampire within 7 days of Strahd's destruction. But I figured since you're already here, it is a very tall mountain after all.
And we still need to break this connection too. And he'll look at the new Tiernan.
We need to find the last stone, and we need to properly sacrifice the beasts. There's a lot to be done.
Where do you want to start? I'm willing to go downstairs now.
don't know if 7 days will be enough time. We have a few things we still need to do. The heart needs to be dealt with at some point. The connection to the land needs to be severed. If we're to believe the seer, our best chances rely on us also acquiring this sword from the crypts.
Then let's get the power we need here. And, well, who cares about the dragon anymore? Then we get that stone.
Agreed.
Okay. So, do you guys want to go downstairs, visit the particular inmates, I'm assuming, and then based on how that goes, you want to take him up on this ritual offer to...
One step at a time, Crash. Let's just go
Oh.
downstairs and deal
Yeah,
with
yeah, that's sounding like it's leading that way.
Okay, I'm just trying to get a sense of what's going on. So, all right. All right, Darius, you are tired, but primal creatures. They do not like to show their weakness or their tiredness to anyone, especially their allies, because they know that their allies rely on their strength, and they wouldn't want them to worry. Also, sometimes packmates will kill you if you appear to be too weak. So even though you're probably tired AF, it does seem that the pack is getting ready to head somewhere else. Whenever they say these words downstairs that you can't comprehend and can't understand, you do feel like, yes, that is good. Downstairs is the right way to go.
This whole conversation, obviously, Darius hasn't been paying attention. He's eating
yeah.
what's left of Savid. He's been wandering around the room looking at shiny things. He went over to Casimir, kind of poked at him a little bit, see what was his deal. Attempted to bite him, but seems too pitiful of a creature, so maybe not. But I think while he was wandering the room, he's been sensing something, and he's not exactly sure where it's coming from. So every once in a while, he's just like stopping, looking around like a dog that's hearing a whistle, and then kind of continues walking around.
Okay. Patrina is going to stay in the library with Casimir, unless you guys have a problem with that.
I don't exactly trust Casimir.
If you wish, I can stay up here as well.
On the list of people that you trust, Anna.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so Shane, you're gonna stay up here with them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to go downstairs. So.
Do you want Xanther to escort you to your location so that you do not have any hostile
Yes.
encounters?
Yes.
Are you sure? I mean,
so tired of those flame schools. So tired.
It's player agency, you know what I mean? Tiernan, Irenia wants to go with you, but you, with your medical training, know that she is 4 stacks exhaustion. It just beats a shit. Well, actually, she rested, so she would be what? No, but she's got wounds though, right? You can't get rid of exhaustion until you get rid of wounds. Yeah.
Is that the case?
But
That's why
get wounds.
Yeah, I mean, every time you go down, you get a wound to go down to 0.
You still
Right.
see him.
I thought
Yeah.
the wounds and exhaustion were separate.
Yeah, it's wounds and injuries.
Oh, right, it's wounds and injuries. Okay, yeah. Then yeah, she would be. Oh, right, but you can't get extra exhaustion if you still have wounds and injuries. Okay, so she would be down to 3. Okay. Right.
Zane, are you certain?
If you wish me to go, I will absolutely join you all. I just thought perhaps maybe.
Yeah. If you don't see them, sorry, they're definitely there. This bitch is pretty beat up. All right. Keep going.
Shane, I would feel better if you were with us.
Of course. I am with you then.
Daniel, would you mind doing the mind thing? Thank you.
You all hear radio stations open up in your head for the next hour.
Okay. Do you include Irenia on that or no?
Nope, it's only 4, so main
Okay.
party.
Main
Next
party.
level I can. If she's
Got it.
here.
Damn.
It's proficiency bonus.
Darius perks up when he starts hearing a voice in his head, trying to figure out where the hell it's coming from.
It's just like radio static.
All right, so Tyrion, I guess the question is, do you have Irenia tag along, or do you leave her with these Dusk Elves?
Yeah, that's quite the question.
She wants to tag along, but
Well,
got
part of
X's in
Tiernan
there,
wants
so.
to stay upstairs too, and not
okay. Do you?
go down to see this.
you
But
want
at
to
the
just
same
stay-
point, I don't want to leave them unsupervised.
You
So
can trust us.
yeah, of course.
We brought you back to life, man.
And you even look better.
Telfos did that, but
But who kept Teltos alive? Actually, I don't
Boy,
think
that's a
it was
pretty.
us.
That's a pretty.
I don't think it was us either.
You sound like an American who because they paid taxes once in their life, they own America.
but who had a dog follow him around that was Taltos and dog Shane?
I did.
Yeah, no, I will look over at Irenia and say, this seems particularly odd going here. I don't know. You are very, I can tell, you're very tired. You could just rest here for a little bit. We'll be back, I promise.
Irenia, I need you to keep an eye on these elves for us, please.
Trying to do that subtly, but that too.
Okay. She's nervous about it, but with her aura, she cannot be mechanically afraid. So she nods in agreement.
Don't worry, we'll keep your man safe.
She gives you a curt nod because she doesn't like you because you've been a real asshole lately. You did the thing with Mackenzie's body and yeah. All right, so these guys are heading out. So the main party plus Xanther. Okay. All right. Do you want to just fast travel to locations, or do you want me to move you through the dungeon and get dungeon tour?
I don't want dungeon tour.
The only thing I would want the dungeon tour for is if we come across the things where the 4 passwords are needed. If we're not going to go around them or see them, then fast travel.
There were crates downstairs that might have supplies.
I guess the other question is, there's many downstairs. Like, which downstairs are you after?
I would like to get Darius fixed as soon as possible, so perhaps his first.
Okay. All right.
Good choice. Because the second we leave this room, Darius starts wandering away from the crew.
Okay. Let's get all that sorted then. Let's see. Amber Temple. All right. This is in 33B. Okay. I know where that is. Sure. Let's see. Basement level.
There's 33 rooms in this dungeon. This place is
Oh,
huge.
there's way more than 30. All right.
I feel
So
like
that
we've
would
been
be
through at least 20 so far, if you're thinking of like each hallway and each small room and stuff.
okay. So the best way to reach this particular room that would not take you guys through a ton of dangerous shit. Ooh. Okay. Exanther would say, well, the path to Tarakametes is, well, there is a hole in the roof of the room. Or we could walk through the mirrored passage, but I have no means to shut that down. And your minds would be under assault by your own reflection. Are you prepared for such a thing? Or would you prefer the less luxurious hole route?
If the hole is safer
Hmm.
than the hole, wait, it's
All right. And so he leads you on a long, circuitous route. So you, let's see, you would come out from the secret stair behind the statue on the ground floor. And then from there, let's see. You
Example,
hear, huh?
There was an old man in this room
Oh,
pretending to be
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. Oh, Tarakimedes says, ah, yes, Nepheron. He is a jokester. And then he says, this way. Up the stairs. And around. And he leads you back into that room, where the hole in the ground is, which I don't believe you guys caved that in or anything like that. So from there, you guys would be able to look down, see the amber glow of that prison that contains Trachomedes, and then I guess jump on down.
Ain't got no
All
rope.
right. Okay. What happened to all your rope? I thought you guys had
It's on
rope before.
It's on the balcony. No one untied it.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I mean, I
Darius.
can fly and get the rope if we need it.
Okay. Do you want to go collect the rope real quick?
I ask Exether, is that asshole in the statue gonna fuck with me?
Not while I'm here. But they're just doing their job.
All right. Yeah, if he has, a guarantor of safety, then he'll go fly over to the balcony, untie the rope, and bring it back.
Okay. All right. Darius, you feel drawn to the hole in the ground here. It is familiar to you in a scent-based way, in a place you've been before-based way, but also in a place you want and need to be.
Yeah. It's kind of like, hey boy, what's down the well? Oh, Tarakimedes stuck in the well? Yeah, he just jumps down. He doesn't even wait.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Give me a acrobatics. and an athletics real quick. Okay. Acrobatics ain't great. Athletics. Okay, so without the benefits of a rope, you would kind of jump and then sort of bounce off the side of the pit and like stumble to the ground, taking 7 points of bludgeoning damage. And I'll move you over to the map. Does anyone else jump in after him, or do you watch from up top? Oh, that's the wrong one. I'm so convinced that it's the west and not the east. All right. Yeah, so you jump down and you see the crystal sarcophagus. You don't really comprehend what you're seeing other than that it is a rock, but that you know that something good is inside. I don't want to say that a dark power would take advantage of your feeble mind,
What?
but you do feel your mind and your sense of self being completely overtaken by a more dominating force. Do
Yeah,
you approach? Okay.
I mean, there's no logical reasoning upstairs anymore. So he
All
just kind
right.
of slowly approaches it, sniffs it, and then just kind of like looks at it, stares at it,
Hmm.
and then he like presses his head against it, trying to look into it deeper.
Okay. As you do, there is a voice from within the stone and from within yourself, and it says, "It is finally time for you and I to be as one. Long have I waited for this moment. Know that when we merge, all that you have sought and all that you seek to protect will be within your power." And yeah, there's like a little pop-up that says like, do you want to do this? And then you can't read it because you have feeble mind.
Yeah,
Okay.
he just.
All right.
I mean, yeah. I mean, mental image. He just like kind of looks at it,
All right.
like a dog that's looking at his master, his beloved master.
Okay.
Who reads contracts and service agreements?
Why?
All right. And
Who
in
reads
that
a contract?
moment, the prism, the massive crystal shard shatters. There is sort of a grayish black mist that was swirling around inside the crystal, and that rises and flows into you. Those of you up top, you would hear the sound of the crystal breaking, but you would not see it because of the way the hole in the room are set up. Darius, you would feel your mind restored, and your charisma restored as well as the feeble mind leaves you. And you know instinctively that the size that you are now, Jeremy Crawford medium, one might say, is not the size that you are or the size that you could be. You are a dragon. You were even in death, and you will be again.
So essentially,
You also feel your exhaustion go down by 2.
so I'm down to 3.
Hmm.
Okay.
And you know that if you had the inclination to do so, you could shoot a laser out of your mouth.
Darius has evolved. He has learned Hyper Beam. Essentially, is this tier 4 that I'm hitting?
Yes. Right away you would be hitting tier 4.
Okay, and I assume that comes with physical changes, so I'll have to work on art for that. But I think what everyone else would kind of see is that Darius kind of stumbles back into view, kind of like he's almost like he's drunk, and then he kind of doubles over. Um, and it seems like his body is growing just a little bit larger. His spikes are getting are growing larger. Um, just by a little bit. So I think I had Darius at like a little bit over 6.5 feet. I think he started to push to 7. And then he stands up after a little while, kind of looks around. How the fuck did I get here?
We brought you here, Darius.
And then he looks up, sees the hole. Huh.
Is it done?
I think so.
Brought the rope down for you.
I guess I'll attempt to climb back up.
Yeah, snap.
Okay. Yeah. Because of the limited resources here, I would actually need you to make a athletics check DC 10. All right, yeah, no problem. Hand over hand, just get yourself out of there.
How do you feel?
Stronger. I guess. Still tired as shit.
Are you still with us, Darius?
Yeah. Yeah. I think he'll kind of reach into his mind for a quick second and be like, I wasn't intentionally trying to delay us talking, but if I had reached for it earlier, I think it would have been a bloodbath downstairs. This is to Tarakimedes in his head, if he's part of his head still.
He's definitely, yeah. There is just a quiet sort of peace, I guess, where your dark passenger used to reside in the back of your mind. It is like looking over and seeing your cat sitting in the window in a sunbeam, watching a nest of baby birds. Like, just the contentness that that creature would feel, is sort of the vibe you're getting now from Tarakimedes. In the light of the Amber Temple, Darius was never looking great, but his body looks, and Anna, even you would notice this, his body looks like the wounds that he has suffered are reopening, but not bleeding, and he is not healing.
Does he still look drained? I'm pretty sure Darius has been hit by Morgantha quite a few times. Does he still look drained from that?
Oh yeah.
Yay.
Daniel, where, like, while this is going on, you do feel compelled to go down there as well. And I don't know if you would kind of have gone while Darius was down there, or if you would kind of wait and see what happens, but you know that what you need is down there.
Like in that room down there, or
No,
drained
but
it everywhere?
close, very close.
Okay.
Okay. Exanther says, well, that seems to be mischief managed. Then, is there anything else you need?
You're not gonna do that thing to my head again, are you?
Hmm? Oh, yes, the side effect of my condition. No. I wasn't even sure this would cure you, but I imagine it was a drain onto Archimedes to restore your mind, but he is not without the power to do so, as you can see. Well, Shami and Tarakimedes are already out and about. I doubt you have business with Savnok the Inscrutable. It seems our business in Vault 33B is complete.
Yes.
Hmm.
Daniel, do you wish to talk to your friend?
All you hear back is radio static. Exanther, can I ask you something? From one cold, lifeless corpse to another.
Hmm.
Living forever like this, is it worth it?
Oh, yes. Especially once you understand that heaven and hell and eternity are real. Do you want to enjoy them on your own terms or someone else's? Because that's all death is a surrender of one's right.
Lightning crackles in Daniel's eyes for a moment, and he almost seems to smile, and he jumps down the hole.
Okay. Oh, there he goes. All right. Exanther sort of levitates after him, like, whee, down the hole. Does anybody join them?
And I'll follow.
Okay. It's just a DC 10 athletics check if you're using the
Oh
rope.
boy.
Yep. Daniel's taking shortcuts.
Yeah, I'll fly as well.
I hate being that DM that's like roll to go up a ladder, but like in this dungeon, I gotta check everything. Oh man, Anna. Okay, you take a tumble. Take a tumble. It's okay.
Is it possible to catch Anna?
If you were like already at the bottom, yes.
Oh.
But with them going down the rope in a shaft like that, probably not.
Okay.
Okay. I think Anna could probably deal with 8 damage. It might be okay.
This is my second fall through this hole.
All right.
I think it's the shame.
As you get
that's
down
more
there,
important.
Exanther is done whispering words of power to this door, and it opens.
Daniel bolts.
All right. So he points and says, "It's right there, but I do warn you that Zrinhala does share a cell with a rather unpleasant entity, Thekre. The mistress of disease. The pox mother.
I think we might have met a bit of her earlier.
We have some small experience with her.
In some realities, they call her Nurgle.
When you mention Sparky's real name for the first time, a part of Daniel smirks, and he continues.
Okay. He floats towards this door. Oh, let me get you guys onto the map. I'm over here playing all by myself. There you go. And he whispers the words of power.
If he says them out loud, do I know him now?
Okay. You look in the room, and there are flame skulls in there. They look over at Xanther. Xanther gives them a bro nod, and then they just hover there, ominously. Alright, you feel called by this one right here.
He approaches.
Okay. Alright, as you approach, you feel wind begin to blow in this dark place deep underground. You hear a whispered voice in your mind, but also in the room. At last, freedom. At last, we can return to the sky. Are you ready, my champion?
Just you and me? Partners?
Yes.
I'd like to insight that.
Yeah, sure. It is, how should I put this? When you said just us and it said yes, you get the feeling that it literally is like, that sounds great. Let's eradicate all life, except for the two of us.
All right, he thinks himself. I mean, I think he knows better than to trust him, but at this point, it doesn't matter. He deserves what's going to happen, and he puts his hand on the.
Oh,
on the
damn.
thing, and
All right.
and accepts it.
The
Unless
stone.
anyone wants to stop him.
Look, I've decided to let you all make your own mistakes.
Why we came here.
Is that why? All right. You watch as the stone shatters and wind just kind of blows the fragments around, and that wind, as it hits Daniel's bones, it dissipates. All right. Let's see. Daniel, what tier were you at before this?
Tier 3.
Okay. Okay. So, you let's see. You got this when you went to bed last night. And then so you would get this boon, transformation. Hold on. Which works in tandem with your immunities. And then this will yeah. This is more active outside than inside, essentially, but Even down here in the dark and the damp, you do sort of have like wind constantly blowing around you. But outside, it would be full on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yeah, you feel light and free and good. And yeah, like things are okay now. You feel so light and so free that you feel that you could just lift up off the ground if you wanted to. The earth no longer binds you, and you have an innate flight speed.
Okay.
Mm. Exanther
Yeah,
says,
I would.
"Oh, yeah, go for it."
Oh, I was just gonna describe what happens. Like the
Oh yeah, do it.
like the amber sarcophagus shatters, and the entire room is filled with just lightning and buffeting wind, and over the psychic connection, that radio static intensifies until you realize it was the wind all along, and underneath it you hear Daniel screaming until it all eventually fades away.
Mm.
What steps out? Shrug.
Daniel?
No. Not anymore. I mean, he's still here. Hanging around. But I think I'll take it from here.
And who are you?
Please. But
Okay, please.
They call me Zrinhala, the Howling Storm. And you, Princess Anna, it is good to finally meet you after all this time. He'll curtsy.
Good enough for Anna.
And Daniel will look at Tiernan and just be like, is this a good enough compromise with evil, Seeker?
My compunctions in that regard have lifted as of late.
I should probably let you know when Daniel first took up the Seeker's dagger. The Fanes did approach him, but even though they thought he was too corrupted for the task, they hesitated and considered. I wouldn't trust them if I were you. They will discard you for their own ends. Better to let them wilt on the vine, as it were.
Forgive me if that punch is less coming from someone possessing my friend.
Friend. Looking good, Shane. Looking good.
Yeah. And I think Shane would just kind of nod and wink.
Yeah.
And I'll take that as a compliment.
Daniel and Shane, best friends again.
Bash Bros be back.
Shane, you receive much dopamine because it is good to have friends and admirers. Well, admirers more than friends.
Yeah.
But it is always good to find a place to belong and people that you belong with.
How does Shammy feel about Zrinhala?
Oh, well, real talk, girl. It's sort of a disaster, like a literal incarnation of disaster.
So like the 5 that makes the 8 look like a 10?
Zrinhala represents the chaos and the evil that is birthed from foul weather. So chaos is the first step to send a disciplined mind or society towards evil, and bad weather, being unpredictable, being powerful, things like that, is a very great way. Like bad weather destroys crops. Now people are starving. Now people are more likely to do evil. Bad weather destroys homes. Bad weather, makes people scared. So essentially, Zrinhala represents like the evil that can be created through inclement weather.
So Daniel's a good time that helps make my job a little easier and corrupt
Well, when people are afraid,
yeah.
they seek out each other. They seek out companionship. So yeah, like to her, he's a tool, but also a dangerous force.
It's good to have you back.
Good to finally be here.
Mm.
Xanther, I've always wondered, what would happen if we just let everyone out? Just empty the cells.
I would be disinclined to let all of them out without an anchor. Even you, Zrinhala, you are reveling in your control of this Daniel, but you and I both know that you do not fully possess them, because they embraced you willingly and did not attempt to contest your power. Therefore, you and Daniel are something wholly different than Zrinhala.
We do have 3 more options upstairs.
I don't think we need to subject them to that. And stepping out from the room, Darius, bigger, as I had said, but also from his back are 2 skeletal wings.
You look badass.
Is this just how it is now? Everybody can fly?
Sorry, man. Maybe they can grow you a leaf to float around on.
A leaf on the wind. Yeah,
no, but no offense, though, I don't think any of them upstairs want to be part of this. Wouldn't you agree, Tiernan?
Yeah, I suppose.
The voice is there, but your face is definitely different.
I died.
What the fuck happened? That I remember.
Altos brought me back, at least brought my soul back.
How the hell did he do that?
Some sort of druid magic, I think. He sacrificed his own life for it.
Poor kid.
Yes. I appreciate his sacrifice, but I am still sad to see him gone.
Then you know what this
Do we-
means, right? Can't let that sacrifice go up in flames.
Never. Do we have to stop somewhere for you as well, Anna, or?
There's a pull.
Exanther says, so then you would like to see the Kingmaker? Hmm?
Indeed.
He is on the other side of that wreckage. And you look, and in case you don't know what wreckage looks like, don't worry.
Oh, I'm ready.
Benias.
I'm ready.
Benias has got
Thanks,
you got.
Penios.
Hey,
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
This ain't got shit on this.
Let's see. Exanther says, a way could be cleared, I suppose. I guess as this place's guardian, steward, I should make a better effort to clean things up around here. Okay. He will go ahead and begin to cast a spell. Does anybody try to do anything?
Counterspell.
Okay.
You took levels in the wizard.
Let me see. Where would he cast it? This spell ain't what it used to be, that's for sure.
It's fine. I don't have to worry about wild magic in this setting. Darius will kind of observe him.
Okay. Alright. Archimedes says he is going to cast a path wall spell. And as he does, you see that the stone magically moves and shifts away against the wall to make a passage that you can then walk through. And he just goes.
Fancy.
Man, there's a lot of ghouls in there. Sorry, ghasts in there. They scream, but Exanther shushes them, and then they all sort of move to the sides. Some hiding behind the sarcophagi. You sense him inside this crystal. Yes, Xanthus the Kingmaker. He represents the evil of power, the power of authority. Throughout the endless histories of endless wars, he has seen fit to raise champions to ever greater feats of power. Often these champions are ill-equipped for the job, and once they are perched atop their new throne is quiet. He watches as they struggle, as they falter, and as their inadequacies lead to ruin.
A good thing that wouldn't possibly happen with Anna.
Yeah, Anna, you hear this and you're like, hashtag not like other rulers. Like, stop. What a bunch of chumps. I just need a one-way ticket to the penthouse suite, baby, and then I don't even need you around.
He reaches forward,
Okay?
takes just one last look at everybody with a little bit of tinge of guilt, and then touches the
You
stone.
sure about this? Up there she is.
Okay.
Yes.
It has been a while since we sat and feasted. Since we sat across the table from each other after a night of revelry. I remember you, and I know that you remember me.
I do remember that night.
It has been a long road, Anna. And you look around, and you are in, like, the throne room of Castle Ravenloft, and it is all restored and resplendent, and the sun is shining outside, and all of your subjects, their eyes are averted in fear and respect. But you hear like a fanfare in the background, and a shadowy form stands before you, and in its hands it holds a spiky crown. Anna, are you ready to rule?
I am.
Then kneel for the last time as I place the heaviest of burdens upon your brow. To be a king is no blessing. It is a privilege, a burden, and a divine right.
There is one that stands in the way. Will you help with him?
Do you speak of Vanzarovich?
Yes.
Long ago has he abandoned the lands he swore to protect, the lands that captured his heart. He is unfit to rule. He is too selfish. A ruler lives and dies for their people. And if they fail, they die by their people. Your goals are mine. For soon we will be one.
He nods and kneels before the figure.
Okay? All right. They place the crown upon your head, and while it is at first too big, you feel it tighten painfully. It is cold and metallic, and you feel it pressing hard against your skin, your scalp, your skull. But in that pain is a clarity you've never had before. the mewling sounds of the child ghost that haunt you, the doubts that you feel, they're gone. The room erupts into applause, trumpets, fanfare, and there is much rejoicing. Outside of Anna's mind, right as the crowd begins to erupt in cheers, the stone sarcophagus shatters, crumbles, and you watch a sort of purplish ink drip from the stones, pool, and then climb up and into Anna. Okay, so Anna, where were you at on your tears?
I had tier 3 since she came back to life.
Beautiful. Okay.
That's so long.
So you gain the following abilities. I will send them over to you in chat. Though there is this small flaw.
Hit me.
And it's just collecting his Pokemon cards at this point.
That's a terrible vulnerability.
Yeah. It's thematic though.
It is. It totally is.
Yeah. It also explains a lot in the D&D mythology of how royal assassinations are actually successful in a hit point based system. Right. Yeah, you feel tremendously confident, capable, and able. You feel like you can act decisively in any situation. And that in the end, everything will work out for you. So here's some notes we got for you. And then
So just par for the course. Got it.
okay. You guys also see that Anna now has on her head a crown of shadows. It's one of those like real tight, like metal crowns with like the very sharp spikes like poking up.
Long live the queen.
Your Grace.
She will turn and look at you all very expectantly.
All of the ghasts in the room have thrown themselves on the ground and are just groveling worshipfully.
Tiernan will at most incline his head.
Okay.
I think Shane will follow Tiernan's example just out of, fine.
Exanther stares at you, Anna, and says, well, you wear a crown, but you still have a kingdom to claim. Perhaps at your inauguration, your ego can be appeased by my acknowledgement of your station. Consider it a challenge issued to an equal.
Xanther, you must have been here for a very long time by yourself with no one to talk to. Because while you do have a brilliant mind, you talk way too much.
They kind of cock their head and say, I've been told that before. I like the sound of my own voice. Let us return to the library if your business here is done.
Darius will kind of stand over Anna, look down at her, see the crown, kind of bend down. Regal as always. Looks good. Though,
Thank you.
don't expect a dragon to bow.
Nor the storm, Anna.
Ooh.
She looks at Darius, and he bows. And that requires a save. 'Cause he gets hit with a command.
Oh, dang.
What kind of thing does this do? Okay, perfect. What's the same? What's the same with the command next turn?
Save is a disadvantage.
Okay. I fail.
Okay. Every part of you is sort of crying out in protest. But this is a mind affecting spell, and you failed to save, so you do feel that, yeah, you need to bow, even if it's just for roughly 6 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And in your heads up display, you see Tarachamedes will remember this. But you also are counseled that these are the games that this fool plays. If we are to work together, we must indulge the children their toys.
He bows, though he does still look at her in the eyes.
He puts a hand on his cheek and says, all will be well.
You're lucky I like you.
She gives Daniel just a look. And the same look goes to Tiernan and Shane.
I mean, I nodded my head.
And then he
As
stands.
I said, long live the queen.
Darius
All
will
right,
then stand back up and look, and it's like, I hate that spell. Just walk out the room.
Yeah, Shane, you see Xanther and I guess Tiernan disappear down this side passage. Apparently, it is a secret staircase to the library.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a fucking Clue mansion up in here.
I'll motion to Darius if you didn't see it.
Okay.
Passage this way.
Thanks.
Woo! Okay. So then you guys, whatever you guys happen to be now, head back to the library. When you arrive back there, you can see Patrina and Casimir are working on magic stuff, and Irenia is half awake, kind of drooling down the side of her face, staring at the two of them from across the way. When the door opens, she kind of jumps up and looks around, sees you guys returning through the secret passage.
So jumpy.
No, I just a little tired is all. Oh my god. She just sort of looks with just horror, right? like it's Cthulhu time, like kind of deal. As if she is seeing you guys for the first time.
Oh, on topic. Apparently, there's a children's book that's like Dr. Seuss for Cthulhu.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw that the other day. I'm like, oh wow. But also, I guess from Emmett's sake, this is what Darius now looks like. This thing will load. There we go.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so the skeletal wings is mostly like the bones, but then there's like kind of sinewy, dark, kind of inky stuff in between each of the things.
Nice.
So I love how all these sessions later, you guys just look like a normal level 1 5th edition adventuring party.
We have a dragonborn, we have a reborn, we have our token human.
Yeah, well, you have a tiefling, you've got an undead, you got a dragonborn, you got another undead, and then you've got a male human fighter.
After all these years of 5e, we finally have embraced Mordecai's races.
Right? You are literally human beings wearing hats. You did it, guys. You did it. You become everything 5th edition wanted you to become. All right. Patrina looks over and says, it seems that you went and powered yourselves up. There is no shame in seeking power to meet your goals.
Who are you?
Ah, you are the little puppy. I am Patrina Velikovna. It is a pleasure to meet you again. And you are?
Darius. Darius King.
Anna. Oh, Anna's not here. I do feel bad that Darius calls himself King all the time. You might need to make him change his name at some point, because that's going to be very confusing for the people. Like, there's really only supposed to be one king, and that's King Anna. And so it's like Darius, King. It just sounds like he's sort of stepping into your turf, and he's spreading it out fast. And like, you got to get ahead of this before it becomes an issue, I guess.
Gotta start a PR campaign. Shouldn't be hard. I can't really do shit with my charisma anyway.
Yeah. Okay. She says, I need a bit more time to prepare, but I am willing to help you with this ritual if you intend to do it.
Ritual. Wait, what? Okay, someone catch me up.
All right, she will catch you up. And Darius, you have been around a lot of bad bitches. I don't know if Darius has a weakness for bad bitches, but this lady, she fills you in real quick while making you feel like a respected colleague and not just a meat shield that is being given the basics.
Ah. Okay. Well. And what did you guys decide on doing first? Because we have a lot on our plate then.
I think our best bet is to Xanther, you said if we killed Strahd, we would have 7 days to return here to complete the ritual.
Yes, yes. But
But that wouldn't.
if you do the ritual first, you will sever Strahd's connection to his patron. That will likely weaken him greatly, which would be very disruptive to his way of life. It would almost be like a great and powerful sickness came upon him. When he says that, Petrina says, yes, and then all of his lieutenants and brides would circle around him to defend him. It would give a bit of freedom to move about without his interference. The gambit then is the time. But 7 days unmolested is perhaps better than all the time in the world while being pursued and hunted. Even now, it waits for you to leave the temple. And then she sort of goes back to her work.
We've been to some of your... And he looks at Xanther. I guess some places you've touched. The tower. I think there was also like some magic circle thing we saw at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Can we like move around quickly with those things?
Yes. Teleportation magics. There are some that I retain a bit of control over. Though teleportation within this demiplane can be unreliable without the focusing structure of a circle. Why, even von Zarovich prefers to fly around on his little pony, or as a bat, rather than teleport everywhere he needs to go. This is an unstable dimension. You would not want to find yourself drowning in the mists. But there are some circles in the castle, as well as one or two that might still be around. I know there was one north of Kresik.
I think that's the one we went to. Guarded by a whole bunch of elementals.
Yes, it is keyed to my crypt. In order to hide what had happened to me and our falling out from his people, von Zarovich faked my death and had a very public funeral. He even went so far as to build me a crypt. I did stash a few things there, as well. In case I ever felt like he needed to be knocked down a peg. But he and I have remained on amicable terms since going our separate ways.
Why
So what it sounds like is that there is no teleportation circle out of the Amber Temple. Is what it's sounding like. At least not that he said anything about. But you could just directly ask him.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to go for. Is
Mm.
the reason I was asking because, well, you said he's probably waiting outside for us, so we're gonna have to move quickly, otherwise we're gonna get jumped.
Well, unless you force him to retreat by severing his connection to Vampire. Though you could, if he is waiting for you, fight him right out front. One final climactic battle. Turn right around. Come back inside. And destroy Vampire. 1, 2, done.
There was a place we were prophesied to fight him. Does that matter?
Ooh, you have a prophecy. Perhaps then you should try to follow it. Those who balk at prophecy often fulfill it anyways, in the most detrimental ways possible. Acceptance of prophecy is the surest way to survive it.
Then I think we must face him. It says amongst the bones, I believe. A hall of bones in the dark pits of his castle.
Oh, when you say that, Patrina looks up and says, I know of this place, the Hall of Bones.
Is that separate from the crypts then? We assumed it was just some sort of other way to refer to the same area.
No, it is a hallway, adorned from floor to ceiling with bones. The bones are, of course, possessed of spirits that would bring them to life. It is a deadly and dangerous place. Not one I would recommend for a final confrontation against such a powerful foe. But to each their own. If you truly are prophesized. She just sort of shrugs. And she says, yeah, Cyrus Bellevue is responsible for creating the Hall of Bones. It is a passion project of his. Rare and unusual remains added to the nightmare artistry on display. OOC, it sounds like a room from Castlevania Symphony of the Night where, yeah, like straight up. Like, just imagine a massive hallway of, like, animated bone.
I swear to God, if there's a pack of skeletal apes there, I'm gonna lose it.
Now, Exanther goading you guys to have a final showdown out front of the temple. You would still be dealing with a Strahd who is bound to the land, which could be
Yeah.
a pretty rough fight. Though you guys are pretty strong.
If I didn't have 3 stacks of exhaustion on me, I'd be down for that. But
You can feel the exhaustion rapidly fading. Dot dot dot. But you're
nah,
not.
it's not soon enough.
It, yeah. Tiernan, you know in your heart that the prophecy or whatever, like, is powerful and it is likely to be useful, but not as useful as breaking his bindings to the land.
Yeah.
But it's up to you guys. If you guys are like, we're gonna finish this campaign in the next 4 sessions, you could definitely just go outside, be like, "Hey, nerd, let's go."
The goals don't change. We just have more abilities now.
Most of us can fly. It should make hunting these beasts a little easier.
Especially when we have to fight the Rock. I'm trying to find it. I can't at the moment. I think there's only 3 like Fane circles, right? But there's like several different beasts. Do we only need one for each circle? Like, do we pick, or do we
No,
have
you
to
need
get...
the blood from all of the beasts to do the ritual at the 3 different circles.
Oh, it
Okay.
has to be a combined blood of all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I thought it was like
That's
this one
unfortunate.
has to go here, or
Nope.
A1 has to. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
you can't do any of them without all the blood. And these beasts are the embodiment of like different parts of the land, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah, Patrina, you will help us do this.
I will aid you in any way that brings about the fall of Anzaravid.
We want to end him completely. We want to sever his ties to the land. We want to sever his ties to this vampire. We want to destroy the heart in the castle so that there was nothing left of him.
She smiles and says, "Then you should probably make a to-do list."
Well, if there ain't a way for us to get out of here quickly, I guess we have to try and fight him off for a bit. Hope he retreats, and then quickly get on to what we need to do.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way we can do everything we need to do within 7 days if we do the ritual right now. So I think we're going to have to do the other stuff. Fight Strahd with his connection still intact. Kill him then, and then come back to the temple and end it. Within 7 days. After we fight him, rather than doing all of that within 7 days. Especially if we've got to fight all 5 beasts before we can go to the Fane Shrines.
There is another way. And Daniel pulls out Senior Hollow pulls out the Heart of Winter, and he strokes it a little bit. I once told Daniel that these would be a very potent battery. Perhaps they can be used for other means. Perhaps instead of restoring the land, the power of the land, we just take it.
You're presented with all of the evidence of how badly that has gone in the past, and yet you think you're different.
There are no good options here, Seeker. But 7 days, even walking, that's not enough. He looks at all of you, are all, as Daniel would say, a bunch of assholes, and I would love to destroy you, but there is one thing I want more. I want out. Nothing we do matters unless we can break the cycle, unless we can tear down the walls of this prison. Otherwise, I'll just see you all again next time. Yeah, looks at Darius for hopefully a bro nod on that one.
Yeah, he returns a nod to you.
All of you say you want to return. You want to leave here. You want to be free of this prison. Why do you think your outcome will be any different the second time? You had that chance once. You were out. You didn't start your existence here. You were defeated the first time. It's just going to happen again.
Look around you, Tiernan. You've walked the length and the breadth of this land. You've walked the halls of Castle Ravenloft. You have walked the halls of the Amber Temple. Tell me, are they not all broken and crumbling? The prison is failing. In time, we will be free, sooner or later. But later, there might not be anything of us left. And I'd rather leave now, before we have eaten ourselves to nothing. This includes the Fanes. They are rotting. They are compromising. It is all swirling down the drain. It is time we leave.
This is the first time that 4 of us have been free, working together. If there was a chance, it's now. And to not capitalize upon that is foolish.
And perhaps there's a new home out there for your blessed Fanes. But it's not here. And he looks at Irene and says, I'm sorry, but everyone in this land is dead, has died, will die again. You can't save their lives. But maybe a few of their souls can flee along with us. That is the best we can offer.
Tiernan. The house is rotten. And you can't rebuild a rotten house. It needs to be torn down before it can be built back up. I hope you would see that.
deep down you knew what would happen coming here, and still you came.
Shane, you were with me before this.
We all have to grow up at some point.
Either way, we need to plan.
I recommend we avoid the dragon, find these beasts one by one, and get that last stone.
The first issue with that is as soon as we step out, he'll want to confront us. The second issue is that the rock, one of the beasts, is also on the mountain where the dragon is.
Do we think we have a better chance dealing with a bound Strahd or vampire?
I think we should fight Vampire here, now, and then go deal with Strahd after we break his bonds as we had planned before.
So OOC. You guys by now know that I don't run split party because, these are paid games. People are here. They're at the table. They want to play the game, right? However, with such a tight time constraint, if you guys were okay with split party, basically just sitting it out and listening and watching and, OOC advising when you are not actively in a scene, you could split up to try to do more things in the 7 days that you would have. So I want you to know that is something that I, with your permission, would be willing to do. So that kind of adds another layer of complexity to this decision making. But I will also tell you that for the last few months, you guys have been dealing with this temple, and you had that incident on the way up the mountain, and you know that, like, when you leave, like, you in the end game, even if you're not ready, like, Team Strahd's ready. So what you decide to do is going to determine basically the rest of the campaign. This is a very big decision.
Xanther, if we take out Vampire and Strahd's weekend, and then 7 days pass, could we repeat that again? We come back here?
Yes. Though I imagine that your battle with Vampire the second time around might prove quite challenging, since his power would no longer be divided. And he would have prior experience with you and your abilities.
From every loss, you learn something.
We could face him now, and we could get as much done within 7 days as we can. And if it's not enough, we could come back. I don't think we leave here without fighting Strahd if we don't face Vampire first. It buys us some time unmolested, at least.
Do you think you could find the beasts in 7 days?
It'd be less than that, wouldn't it? Because, I mean, the rock's here, but then we have to get down the mountain. That took a couple of days.
We know where the fish is.
We know generally where they all are.
Could Darius, since he has wings now and pretty good strength, could he carry, say, a non-flying person?
Probably. Darius is also convinced that he's much larger than he actually is, so perhaps he could carry. Yeah, maybe he could carry a lot of people. I don't know.
And you can't fly yet, right?
Not yet.
Okay.
That's what a nice way to ask that question.
Petrina, you are a being of great power. Can you help others to soar, to fly?
For a limited amount of time. Sorry, wrong character. For a limited amount of time, yes.
Well, that's something then.
Man, this is tough.
Would you want to go? Do you want to see the map to give you a better sense of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that can help.
Oh, I've been on the map screen this whole time.
Okay. So it looks like you've got the animals. You got bear all the way over there. You got rock. You got moose. And you got goat. These are the areas.
And
Wait, why?
fish.
Goat is goat on your list? Is it on your
No,
shopping
I
list?
think goat was just because he's an asshole.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I thought the goat was one of them.
No, he was just an optional boss.
I was like thinking about the other two campaigns. I'm like, why do they have a goat on their list?
The only ones that were specifically mentioned were bear, fish, moose, and rock. But we've heard of some other creatures that are probably as big as these things, but I don't think they're actually part of the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I got moose, fish, bear, and bird. Or rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's lightning triceratops up in the mountains too. But yeah. Actually, I think it's more towards Brafheim.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
I mean, we can hit rock and moose when we essentially are coming down the mountain and getting to fish, but getting all the way to fucking bear. And then also
We have to get the stone.
and then the stone.
And you have to pick up,
Barbaros.
the stone from a reputably quite powerful individual.
Yeah, rock, moose, Baba Lysaga, fish, bear.
And at some point, I need to divert to get more up.
But then after you get it, then you have to go
We've got
back
to backtrack. Yeah,
to the three areas, which would be Yester Hill,
Old Mill.
Yester Hill, Old Mill,
And there.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
ancient megaliths. Yeah.
Correct.
So would it be possible? It doesn't look like there's mountainous things in the way necessarily. Would it be possible to go straight from Bear to ancient megaliths near Old Mill to ancient megaliths for Old Berez, and then could we cross these like
The lowlands?
the foothills here? And
Yeah,
go
yeah.
straight over towards Yester Hill.
You certainly could. Yeah.
Okay.
Now the thing is, that kind of travel, that's gonna be a lot. That's way more than 7 days.
Yeah.
Well,
That's probably like
so-
2-3 weeks.
Well, and that is why I mentioned potentially splitting up, but
Well, it gets us out of. So if we do the 7-day, if we start that 7-day timer before we leave the Ember Temple, it means that Strahd probably won't immediately confront us as soon as we leave the temple, which would be like full-powered Strahd the second we came out, which probably isn't something that we want. So it at least buys us those 7 days. Also, if we're at the bear, the castle's decently close by, and we do still need to kill the heart in the castle, and we need to grab the sword.
Okay, so if you could fly, if all of you could fly, the distance from where you are to Castle Ravenloft is a straight line of 48 miles.
Usually you do like what, 20 miles of walking per day or something like that in D&D. So that's like 2 and change.
Now that is assuming no difficult terrain. You are right. 48 miles is exactly 2 days of overland travel. Now, if you went at a fast pace, it would be 1 day and 4 hours of travel. Then from Castle Ravenloft to the woods where the bear is said to live is 10 miles. But you would have to figure out, where the fucking bear is. Other sites of interest. I'll just give you measurements all from. Do you want measurements from where you currently are, or from Castle Ravenloft, to give you a perspective of what you're working with?
I think currently, maybe.
Okay. All right. According to Exanther, the rock's nest is at the top of the mountain, which is only. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles from here, but up. So you're looking for 5 miles. Now, the rock will probably just come for you guys if you hang out long enough. So you probably don't have to go find the rock. Let's see. From here, as the crow flies, if you were trying to get to Argynvost, it is 27 miles north of your current location. This should also give you an idea of the inaccuracy of the map you're using versus the reality of things. But I'm just trying to give you guys a general sense of what you're working with. From where you currently are to Yester Hill is 34 miles. Okay. From where you currently are to Baba Lysaga and the ruins of Berez is 16 miles. Okay. From where you guys are to the lake is 39 miles. Now, Darius, it's disgusting to think about, but you could, outside, assume your true form, and you would be large enough to carry most of the party. Zrinhala could probably and would insist on flying themselves. So you could ferry these assholes around. However, assuming your true form, the more often you do that, the less of Darius King remains when you go back to this hybrid form. So, Tarakamedes feels like that's a sacrifice they're willing to make. But where does Darius stand on that?
Oh, of course you would like that, you dick.
I will point out that Tarakamiti's flight speed is a sustained 80 in
Ooh,
its
that's faster than me.
in its dragon form.
Mm.
Which is better than fast speed. Essentially, it would be double fast speed. So you could fly from here to Castle Ravenloft and get there in less than a day.
And how long would I be able to sustain this form? Is it like a number of hours equal to something?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was the question? I was looking something up.
How long would I be able to sustain this form?
As long as you want, really. Just the longer you're in that form, the less of Darius King will be there when you go back to hybrid form.
Perhaps if
That's
you
a,
only use
that's a
it for
Daniel
defense.
conundrum. Damn.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I said that's a Daniel conundrum right there. Would you
Mm.
burn yourself out?
Yeah. I mean, he'll get. Would he even share that with the party? That's the question.
I should mention, mechanically, all of you can allow the dark powers to assume their full forms, but every time you do, there will be less of your character to go back to. And each of your true forms is a CR20 plus boss monster.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it is quite possible to walk right outside the Amber Temple. All of you go Super Saiyan. You beat up Strahd, you walk back in, you go Super Saiyan on Vampire, you finish the campaign, but then you'd be finished the campaign as your as the dark powers, and not as yourselves. But it's possible.
So you're saying there's a chance. I'm not even sure if he would share that information with the party.
That you're capable of taking them places?
Yeah.
Don't like peer pressure. I got it. Yeah, I think those measurements, though, pretty much cover the places that you are contemplating going, right? So, 48 miles to the castle, 58 miles to bear territory, 5 miles to the rock nest. What did we say? 27 miles to... where did I say 27 miles to?
Was that Argynvost?
Yes, Argynvost, thank you. You know, in case you wanted to return the skull or whatever, but I mean...
I think that's off the table now.
Yeah.
Oh, that
let's
is
see.
a stronghold of undead.
That went from my number one objective to eh.
I mean, vampires don't like sunlight. I mean, if they believe, if what they believe is true, and admittedly what the people of Valakai believe didn't end up being true, but if what these zombie paladins believe to be true is true, then, you know, lighting the beacon, allegedly, Argynvost is going to come back with the sun.
That also did bring up something I was thinking about. So, say we kick the crap out of Vampire, and then Strahd runs away. His goon squad is going to be protecting him, but I don't think all of his goon squad's going to be there. They're probably going to be having commands of hunting us down. So that's going to be fun.
But I mean, that would be happening with or without Strahd depowered. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One would argue that there would be less if they felt like they had to protect Strahd while he was vulnerable.
Exactly.
which is what Patrina thinks will happen.
You remember when we talked about this a long time ago? And I had said, let's try to make things as complicated as possible for Strahd as possible. And if we did whatever for the Paladins, it's one more thorn in his side to deal with. If we have time, I think we should do it.
So, Vampire first, then the Rock or Argynvost.
Just work our way out. Yeah.
That's a plan, at least.
And I don't remember where the portal is to... We went where the elementals were that...
It is
Fenric
north
and-
of Kresik, so from where you currently are, you are looking at about
somewhere like-
45 miles or so.
That's how we're getting into the castle, guys.
Yeah.
We could get more bullets on the way then. That works
Because
for me too.
according to Xanther, that teleporter will take you to the crypts, and then Patrina can show you where Mad Dog's crypt is, and then you can get the thing. The sword.
And we're going to have to split up. I don't want to do that.
Split up.
To cover everything.
Now, what we could do to keep everybody active at the table is you do have a decent amount of NPCs, despite the amount of people that died last week. So we could fill in gaps with you guys essentially
Well,
playing
play
as...
as Tout.
Yeah.
Bring Ismark back. Oh boy. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm down.
So, okay. So it sounds like Vampire. Hopefully Strahd is weakened enough that he decides to piss off for now. Rock, because it's likely going to try and find us as we're making our way down the mountain. Moose, since we'll kind of be in the area. Do we go off to Baba Lysaga and grab that stone and then make our way to Argynvost and then Kresik?
Yes.
And then from Kresik, teleporter into the castle. Do we need to do? I hope that teleporter is 2 ways.
So Argynvost would require the defeating the ghostly Dracolich that haunts this mountain.
Right.
That'd have to be after the rock, yeah.
I feel like it's also going to be hunting us.
Okay.
I mean, best case
Yeah, so
scenario
we don't-
is monster
we-
hunter monster battle between all.
Now,
think
with speaking of Monster Hunter, the skull is very big. So you'll be, I guess, someone will be carrying it like a pregnant woman carrying a watermelon, like or a Monster Hunter character carrying a monster egg and just kind of waddling.
I mean, there's a couple of us that can fly. Maybe we just helicarry her.
Helicarry it? Okay. All right, just okay. So right now I have Vampire to Rock to Argynvost to Moose. I feel like after the first 3, the Moose should be manageable. To Baba Lysaga to Argynvost Holt for drop off. And then
Then
Technically,
shopping day at Kresik.
I think technically it's Vampire to Dragon to Rock,
oh, okay.
but yeah.
I mean,
What if
those
the Rock,
and
jumps
dragon,
in while you're fighting
See,
Argynvost?
that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
just be one of those monster.
Oh, so we
clashes or
better
whatever.
they better have one of the monster yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if anyone's going to be bound to a place, it's going to be the dragon, not the rock. So,
Right.
Yeah, we know the rock goes
Oh,
all
yeah.
over the place.
So Vampire to Argynvost to Rock to Moose to Baba Lysaga to Argynvost Holt for drop off.
Then
Which
Kresik.
at that point,
yeah.
if everything is going well, more well than Valakai went, the sun would be out? Question mark. So sun's out, guns out.
Mhm.
That would then
Because
that
Shane's
would
going back to Kresik, guns out. Anyway.
oh, okay. So then with the sun coming out, that would deter during the daylight hours at least any vampires or spooks from Castle Ravenloft being able to engage with you guys.
Mhm.
Hmm. And it would probably, after years of not having the sun, limit their their blasé sort of confidence, right? Because the vampire vampires are used to like, ooh, I'm having to squint my eyes today. Oh man. Like, and then it's gonna be, oh, I'm gonna fucking die. So like a lot of them are probably either going to die from being sloppy or become way more cautious about overland travel.
So after 5 intensely difficult endgame combats, things will start looking a little better.
We just have
Sure,
to get.
so
We just have to get. We just have to skate uphill for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, and then allegedly with the return, you will have a resurrected ancient silver dragon, allegedly,
Oh, that
Who
would be
may or
fun.
may not
and
like
then an
us.
army of undead paladins. Okay, who would also probably not like you guys too much. This would be like frenemies more than allies.
Enemy of my enemy is my acquaintance.
Is my future enemy when the campaign's over.
Yeah.
All right, so now that you've done all this is all hypothetical. Where do you go from Argynvost drop off?
Check in with Jenny and see, like, hey, girl, look at that.
Okay, so then you
No.
can just go to Jenny's house? Okay, no? Okay.
No. I would be very interested to see what her reaction is to how things have changed, but
Disappointment. I'm going to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
Disappointment. Okay.
good. Sorry, Mom. But yeah, other than from Argynvost,
You still need a fish and a bear.
I mean, from Argynvost, do we go to Lake Zarvis, get the fish, and then head to Kresik?
I'll be out of bullets by then for sure.
Okay, so then Kresik, teleport to Castle Ravenloft, bear.
Leave
And
Castle
then-
Ravenloft to get bear, and then
Travel back.
There's
to
on,
get
there's on,
fish.
there's only going to be one trip to the castle, and it's the last trip.
I think so.
Then
Yeah,
I
and
might
so-
just have to, just default to being a melee guy for a bit then.
Well, I mean, we don't have to take the teleport when we get to Kresik. It's just there's an option there. So then, I
Oh.
guess Kresik resupply and then head to fish. Bear.
Okay. Would you guys be having like an open discussion about this with your quote unquote allies, with like Patrina and I don't know.
I mean, just because they might know more things about stuff than us, I feel like
Okay.
probably, yeah.
I guess at this point,
Okay.
it's cards on the table.
So
Yeah.
then Patrina would say, what is it that you need from Kresik so badly?
I'll show her my rifle.
Hmm.
I am running pretty low on ammunition.
Okay. She examines it.
There's a ton at the bottom of the mountain. Yeah, he'll hand over the rifle.
Okay. She says, "Let me see if I can help you with this."
Let me throw a delicate topic out on the table. You guys want to do anything about Zaluka?
Well, last we talked with her, we said that similar situations, not enemies, but we've definitely soured that relationship. So it's, I don't know. She said if it was up against Strahd, she would be willing to assist, but probably not like on our behalf or whatever. That's the way I kind of took our parting.
I feel she would throw her hat into whatever looks like the winning side.
It's going to be one of you guys that's going to have to convince her, because I'm not going to do it.
That's gotta be Daniel. She was the closest with Daniel.
Yeah, my magic would only work if she was humanoid, so.
Yeah, she's humanoid. She also has a shape changer tag.
Oh, well, yeah, if she's susceptible to charm, then I could definitely try.
But, charming. Yes.
I mean, dominate. I can dominate. Yeah.
Enchanting people. That's always goes well.
Right? What harm ever came from that? Especially when the spell breaks.
Okay, so Patrina comes back to you, Shane, and says that she has a way to magically create you an unlimited supply of magical bullets. But they would only last for an hour, and every time she would have to call upon this magic, it would drain, and this gets kind of nerdy, it would drain power from her, such of the 5th rank of magic. You're not sure 100% what all that means, but Shami sort of translates for you that she'd be using pretty big magic to make you bullets, but it is something that she could do. All this to describe the creation spell.
After it's magical, does it go back to just regular rounds or does it disappear?
That's the thing, it disappears after an hour.
Oh, it completely disappears.
Yeah.
I mean, I am at.
The reason it goes away after an hour is because it is minerals. It's made out. It's made out of
minerals, and it just goes back.
It's made out of metal essentially. There's metal components to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I have 19 regular bullets and 13 silver bullets. That's probably enough for the rock and the dragon. At best. Other than that, I have the halberd and the sword that probably doesn't like me much anymore.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, the sword is very disappointed in you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm looking at a map that could be split in half, and half of you could take care of the left half of the map stuff, and half of you could take care of the right half of the map stuff. After the Argynvost drop off, I would say all the Vampire, Argynvost, the Rock, the Moose, and Baba Lysaga, I feel like those are all things you should probably handle together.
And then split up for Fish and Bear and...
Fish, Bear, Krezzik. Right, Krezzik team could do Fish. Bear team could just focus on Bear, essentially.
And then Krezzik team could port into the castle while Bear team goes down to the castle.
Well, remember, after you get the blood, you still have to do a whirlwind tour of all 3 things and break the bindings to the land, and that's not going to be super easy.
I guess we'd have to meet back up at the old mill.
Yeah, that sounds like the plan.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that could work because I feel like those first ones are, especially up to Baba Lysaga. Like I feel like those are all the really, really rough ones. I feel like the Moose, the Fish, and the Bear are hopefully gonna be a little bit.
Well, you fought the fish before.
We almost killed it too. Yeah, it was pretty hurt.
I don't know if you knew that you needed the blood then either. That would have sucked if you'd killed the fish.
that would have been rough.
Yeah, you would have locked yourselves out of doing this, and until another fish was born. I don't know if you have time to wait for another totemic animal to be born. Also, you don't have to kill a creature to gather its blood. Once the creature is bloodied, you can use an action to harvest blood from the creature.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to kill the rock all the way. And these are living creatures, which by now you probably know. When they get bloodied, most living creatures think about, hey, maybe I should get the fuck out of here.
Fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a plan, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way to do it.
So I want you guys to be aware, because some of you get locked in when we make plans and get very disappointed. Be prepared to adapt on every single step, because we've had to do it the entire time.
No, it's going to go exactly as we want it.
All right, so I have this document here where it says Argynvost drop off, and then we have a split, where one team is going to do Krezzik, or they'll probably do Fish first, I'm assuming. Or you could do Krezzik, come back for Fish, and then meet at the bone grinder.
Yeah.
All right, so that will be Krezzik to Fish to bone grinder. The other team is going to split, and they're going to do the bear.
Crossing vampire territory to get there.
Right. The bear in vampire territory.
Hopefully
Okay,
that's a day journey.
and then they're going to come back to the bone grinder. Then you have all the things assembled, correct? You've looked at your notes. You have everything that you need.
I've got the dagger. I've got the ewer. I've got. At that point, we'd have the blood. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's everything.
Well, there's the skull. Or is that what the ewer is going to be for now?
Yeah, do we have like 3 different things, right? Like
The old guy's skull, he's got it.
Yeah. So we've got the skull also.
Okay.
All right. And you grabbed the ewer from the dining room area, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Trying to see if there's anything else that you were supposed to grab.
I mean, the actual like ritual itself, but we got that from the.
Did you have
Old
in your
man
notes?
who died.
Did you have in your notes the shuttle of the Weaver? And the spindle of the Weaver.
I don't remember that.
Ah,
Sounds
okay.
familiar.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Yep.
So the spindle of the Weaver, much as the ewer kind of like called out to you, the spindle of the Weaver, you do sense that it is in the Amber Temple.
All right, I turned to Xanther.
Uh-huh.
Hey, bud. So, this shuttle and spindle of the Weaver thing. You happen to know about those?
Oh, yes. They are objects of power used to weave threads into ritual circles. Oh, you want to know if I know where it is? Yes, it's
Right,
in my
yes.
office. Yeah.
Could we perhaps borrow those in order to help us unbind the land from Strahd?
Oh, okay, yeah. He will go and fetch the spindle and shuttle of the Weaver for you. Okay. All right. So then, according to your notes here, the Bear Vampire Territory Bone Grinder. Now it's time for land bind breaking. Okay. So then you would do. It looks like Bone Grinder first, into Swamp, and then Yester Hill. Finally, from Yester Hill, with the sun out, an ancient silver dragon on your side, an army of undead paladins, and 4 of the 5 of you being like living gods of evil, you are going to go to the teleporter north of Kresik. You're going to teleport in. Probably have to beat up some more elementals because they respawn into the crypts, and then you're gonna grab the sword from the crypts, and you're gonna go to the Hall of Bones and say, "Hey, nerd, it's over." Or are you taking a detour from the crypts to destroy the heart before you go to the Hall of Bones?
Probably destroy the
Probably destroy the heart first.
Okay. All right.
He'll probably
This is
chase us, and then we continue running until we get to the Hall of Bones. All
right. So
but I'm
mechanically, OOC fighting him in the fated location will give you guys a layer action.
Oh, that's fun. But I'm assuming the skeletons are a layer action of that area also, so this just balances it out.
I mean, it is a very dangerous. His location to fight is randomly determined. So, by your Taroka reading. So you guys did get dealt a pretty rough one because that room is, it's pretty nasty. Also, keep in mind that inside Castle Ravenloft, I have to roll for random encounter every time you enter a new area.
Yep.
And while you guys are very strong and
We're
very
well
powerful,
versed with that.
yeah, you are going on you'll be on a timer, and it is a battle of attrition. Everything will kind of be wearing you down and grinding you down. So let's see. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, we'll say 14, 15, 16. 16 major things on your to-do list with 16 sessions left in the year. That's tight. That's tight.
I mean, do we even need the sword at this point? Because we'd have to go to Krezk to power it up. So, like, without it being powered up, what use is it? Is it just
If we can get it, we get it. If we can't get it, we can't get it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even.
I mean,
worth
but Trina would tell you that literally it would be like around the corner. From if you're appearing if you're appearing inside Xanther's tomb, it would be right around the corner.
Can any of us even use it?
Ooh,
looks at
that is
Irenia.
Irenia probably could, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes the most sense. But wait, I guess with that mentioning, are those teleporters 2 ways? Would we be able to then go back around the corner, go to the teleporter, and hit back to Krezk?
No, it is the one-way teleporter.
Yeah, that's a problem. Then.
He built it as a back door to Ravenloft if he ever, like you said earlier, if he ever decided that Strahd needed to be taken down a notch. But he also told you in previous timeline he himself tried to defeat Strahd and it didn't amount to anything.
Yeah, so then if it can't be powered up because we can't get back to Krezk easily, then there's no point trying to get it then.
Well,
I mean, it'd be
if
nice
it fulfills the Taroka reading.
The letter of the prophecy, which I think is the reason why we would do it, even if we don't get to power it up.
Also, it is on your milestone list, so.
At this point, would we know that just obtaining it would be a milestone, or it has to be in its powered up form?
You don't know for sure. I think I've mentioned aloud though that powering up the sword is the goal.
Is the actual milestone?
Yeah, restore Sunblade to power.
Hmm.
If you want a little bit of transparency on your remaining milestones, I am not adverse to sharing them very quickly. So that you guys kind of know you're on the right track. Okay, remaining major milestones. Restore Sunblade to power. Aid their destined ally in the personal quest. So that's...
We did do that, but then our ally left us.
True.
So I think we did get that as a level up, though.
It didn't end well for them, for sure. But let's see, what else did you have? Lighting the beacon is one. Killing Baba Lysaga is one. Killing the Abbot is one. Recovering all 3 wine stones and refocusing them at the stone circles is a single one. And then killing Strahd is one.
But the actual cap for level is only 13.
13, but then you can earn you can trade in your stuff for boons, yeah.
So Vampire's bitch ass isn't even a milestone.
He is a secret optional boss. Yeah, raw if you just beat Strahd and you never find out about Vampire, after the credits roll, there's a post-credits scene where like Strahd wakes up and everything just starts over again, and I'm supposed to inform you that all of your efforts were for nothing.
Eh.
That's the raw adventure.
Man, that's
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, at least we have the information that it's Groundhog's Day here, so
Okay. So I will be very practical with you guys. We've been playing for a while. I said the campaign would be 2 years. Playing till the end of this year would definitely put us well and truly into that territory, I believe. We're at like session what? 85? 84. So 84 and 16 more, that would be 100 sessions. I'd be pretty fucking sexy to end on 100 sessions. And then we roll up into the new year. If it doesn't happen that way, that's fine. ... But we're stopping for the final 2 weeks of the year for Christmas and New Year's. So like whatever momentum you have going, that's going to be like gone. And then we come back in the new year, finish up the campaign. That's a thing that could happen. My recommendation is that you look at this as an opportunity to really like settle a lot of things in chat, in Discord during the week, and just be decisive in like the actual session. Like,
Yeah.
stick to your plan, do the thing, go through it, learn your abilities, learn your class, know your moves, know what all your items are, know if you have anything that can save you from death or dying, know your resistances, and then just play through. And I think you guys could do it in the time that we have left.
At the very least, we can get it to where after the break we have like the 2-part finale episode or something. Like, I definitely want to at least get it to that point.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, I don't want you to like start like the fight against Strahd on the 15th and then we go to Christmas break. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have heard from many people that Strahd in his castle is a long, hard fight. Because he and the castle are one, he has a lot of shenanigans. If you could find a way to properly motivate him to stay put and actually fight, that would probably make that fight go faster and smoother. Just to kind of keep that in mind. All right. Any questions before we adjourn? No? All right. So here we are at the end of the things. There are many things left to do, but they will be, you're heading towards the end here. So, tonight we're going to do some Starfinder with Dom. You guys are welcome to hang out on Twitch and watch that happen. I don't know who's streaming. It might be me. It might be Will. We'll see. And then I want to say regular schedule continues. I think Mythic is off for one more week, and then it should be resuming. The Outlaw games are doing great. The Strength of 1,000 games are doing great, so everything's cool in that regard. I did post my games for 2025. You can get that information on the Discord server. I'm going to be running 4 games next year. I just couldn't make the time work to run 2 Kobold games, and I really am feeling passionate about this Skyhaven game, so I did cut one of the Kobold games because I really want to run Skyhaven. So there will be only 1 Kobold game. It'll be in this time slot. Curse of Strahd players do have priority seating if you're interested in that game. I did post up the ad on the Discord so you could learn more about it. But that does mean that if every single one of you and every single one of Nightfall applies for it, I won't be able to take everybody, which will make me feel really bad. But I'll talk to everybody and we'll try to get a good group, set up and put together. But apply for any and all games that you're interested in. Those are the games I will be running. So I put them up ahead of time so people could plan around them based on their level of interest. So, all right. Any other announcements, guys?
We don't have Mythic tonight, but we are doing Starfinder playtests.
Yeah, I said that
Ran
already.
by Dom. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you would have said that after the Mythic part.
Oh no,
but
that
you
was
said
the
it
first
before
thing.
that?
That was
Okay.
the first thing. All right. Other than that, it's already okay. Hope everybody goes off, enjoys themselves. Don't stress out too much about this game, I guess, but also definitely chat it out this week, and I'll post the to-do list that I wrote based on what you said, and you guys can kind of take that or leave it. And yeah, see you around the Discord.
So we go into giant territory. No.
We rally the giants to our side. No, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just gonna take towards the end of the year. All right, thanks for running.
New Darius art, so cool.
Later, guys.
And thanks everyone for watching. Catch you next time.